no. I'm going to stay up here the whole time. Cool person.
And you get to see you in person.
Hey, how are you?
I do.
Probably, I would say, it's almost 6. Is there a big line outside? Are people still waiting to get in?
I have no idea. What I do know is that like 300 people, like over 300 people registered.
Right.
And I don't think that this is necessarily 300 people. So,
No.
So, yeah. I think we'll probably start.
Is your family here or you came down?
Oh, no. I mean, yeah, it's over an hour drive, so. You know, they have school tomorrow. My little one has gymnastics, so. I mean, part of it is like, my kids understand a lot. I was like, just looking at something online, and I was like, what's that picture? And I was like, oh, that's really good. She looks at it and she's like, some of them have kids at home. I was like, yeah. And I was like, okay. I mean, I'm one that's good she remembers, right? Like, but.
Yeah, there's no need to expose it.
Yeah, it's too much.
I can confirm you some pictures of the heading.
I think I knew that. I was looking at these really close. Well, I'm glad that Harvard students think it's looking this. I love that.
So she is.
I love it. It's beautiful. You know what? Higher ed is being shown.
Oh.
Higher education.
That way, did water get here? Oh, good. I have a step up.
It's a soapbox.
Yeah.
It's literally a soapbox.
They actually really like stand. But my principal.
Yes.
So they go,
Ah, that.
So I went,
Got it. I thought you were saying like the board was like, crap, I really like it. I will do no such thing. Yeah, Daphne. Which one of these seats is yours? Is there a designated rabbi seat? Which one is yours?
I do not care, not one little bit. I think we need to.
How do you your key state cover?
But you know, I mean, nobody knows it's my key safe code because
Yeah, but he's in no.
not by these people. But I'm stuck, so.
It's your moments. You should sit there. I'll just move down.
Nope. I'm just passing out water.
go out and get some more.
Okay, well, fill
So-
up a glass. I'll go get the water for you.
So I'll tell you where the water is.
I know, that filler thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, right by the bathrooms.
Oh
Just
my-
like at the airport.
That was the plan.
I'll be right back.
Thank you.
I have a job.
So this is here. So you're after Rabbi Sachs.
I'm
Go to
after
Aharon,
Rabbi Sachs, okay.
and then you will do Aharon.
So I have that 4 or 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. And then if you, I think you can just sit down, or you can say, right back in the he can introduce himself.
Okay,
We're
who's
not
coming?
doing a big Rabbi Andy Bachman. Have you
Oh,
met
Randy
him?
back.
This is Rabbi Bachman. He's lovely.
Do you want me to sit up here? I certainly can. What is it easy? Or?
I mean, it just might be just scrambling between three of the ideas, but it's up to you. I mean, I think probably
all day.
hours.
6 degrees of separation of the Jews is 1 degree.
But I don't know if they're
How did you get through the holidays? I'm here. Thank you, Jacob. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. It's all things that I am humble. Yeah, that's a way to look at it. It takes, we get through a lot. I did our whole email. Come out.
Oh, that thing will just live there?
It will live here. Or
Okay.
you want
All right.
someone near
I'm
you?
gonna top myself off.
You do that.
I'm all set. And then I'll just put it there.
My children live in Brooklyn. They're all in their 20s. My girlfriend's children are not. I could tell that you were the recipient of yes, yes, yeah. It's Amalia, Jacob, your mom. Yes. it's a, yeah.
But in that one,
Oh my God.
wonderful. It's been
Incredible.
wonderful.
Now, I always remember your parents were, yeah. From what town? Right. You were born here or you were born here? That's what it is. And which TBE? So when I go from the Berlin, her family came from Hudson House, and they have like a commemoration for the summer, but this year was like 350th anniversary of the tower. So they invited all their juniors. And she's a retired professor from Brandeis and helped them plan the whole thing.
And that's some disconnects it.
Yeah, I think that just takes it off.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you see Rabbi? I'll go try to find her.
Full regalia. They're like in their
Are they
90s.
Daniel went to check. Okay. Good evening. Thank you so much for being here. Please find your seats. We'll begin in just a few minutes.
You take my seat. Oh.
I'm going to sit down. Good evening. Thank you all so much for being here, and thank you to those joining us via Zoom or live stream. My name is Molly Curran-Rolls, and I'm the Executive Director of the Jewish Community Alliance of Southern Maine. This is a memorial gathering for us. It is a time for contemplation, for care, and support. If you came here tonight for a debate or an argument, this is not the time and not the place. Please respect the solemnity of this moment and the tenderness of this community. Anyone disrupting the program will be asked to leave immediately and escorted out of the building. Tonight we gather to express our love for Israel, our love for all those defending Israel with incredible bravery, our love for those who've lost their lives, and our love for all those friends and family members who've experienced both physical and mental injuries through unimaginable terror over the last 4 days. We gather because we need to know that we're not alone and that the pain we feel can be borne when it is shared. We gather because, even in despair, we are connected to one another and to our tradition, which remembers, honors, and transforms every tragedy, and there have been so many, many tragedies, into something meaningful. As your federation, the Jewish Community Alliance will continue beyond tonight to provide information and support as we navigate these uncertain times, including opportunities for advocacy and solidarity, and opportunities to donate to organizations working tirelessly to ensure that Israelis have all the support they need to heal from this and emerge stronger than ever. Tonight, our incredible rabbis and leaders will share poems, songs, prayers, and blessings to help connect us to our tradition and to light our path forward through this darkness. If in the last few days you've struggled to connect to your feelings, or felt you had to mask them or paper over them, I encourage you to open yourself to them tonight. In this shared space, let us be present together. Let us hold one another in our grief and in our fervent prayers for healing and for peace. Am Yisrael Chai, the people of Israel live. It is my honor to welcome Rabbi Rachel Isaacs of Kobe College and Beth Israel Congregation in Waterville to share her Torah with us.
In the words of our prophet of fire, the first prime minister of the state of Israel, David Ben-Gurion, suffering makes a people greater, and we have suffered much. We have suffered much. We are gathered here today because the Jewish heart is broken. Our family in Israel has been murdered, mutilated, raped, and terrified. We are watching this tragedy in real time, witnessing with abject horror the greatest mass murder of Jews in a single day since the Holocaust. Our family has been slaughtered. We cannot and must not be silent. At this moment, we are not only suffering from Hamas's brutal war crimes, but from the sin of Timchon Levav, a moral confusion of the heart. Less than 24 hours after Hamas's atrocities began, 36 student groups from Harvard wrote, quote, "We, the undersigned student organizations, hold the Israeli regime entirely responsible for all unfolding violence." On Sunday, progressive groups chanted en masse on the streets of Manhattan. Resistance is justified. America's most privileged, self-proclaimed voices for social justice have asserted without equivocation: when Hamas kidnaps Israeli babies and murders their parents before their eyes, when Hamas rapes Israeli partygoers and drags their mutilated bodies across the streets of Gaza, Israel, they claim, is responsible. Timchon Levav, moral confusion of the heart. bred and cultivated on America's most vaulted and prestigious campuses, wrapping classical, genocidal anti-Semitism in academic jargon, shrouded in the cover of institutional prestige. Timhon levav, a moral confusion of the heart, a sin that justifies the most abject evil, a sin we must condemn and resist, no matter how uncomfortable it makes us in polite society. We must be able to at least muster the moral courage of President Biden, who spoke in no uncertain terms, quote, "The brutality of Hamas, this bloodthirstiness, brings to mind the worst rampages of ISIS. This is terrorism." But sadly for the Jewish people, it's not new. So in this moment, we must be crystal clear. We stand with Israel. We stand with Israel. And we will make sure Israel has what it needs to take care of its citizens, defend itself, and respond to this attack. There is no justification for terrorism. There is no excuse. End quote. No matter what our social discomfort, it pales in comparison to what the family of Amir Tibon, who we welcomed to Waterville many years ago, suffered in the safe room of their kibbutz on Nachal Oz, keeping their children silent for over 12 hours in a pitch-black room to evade the notice of terrorists who came to kill them. But moral confusion doesn't just come from moral relativism or the flat-out endorsement of terrorism. It also comes from being able to see some of the good that is gathering around us. On Sunday night, as I was writing checks to Israeli hospitals, one of my kids asked me, "Ima, what are you doing?" I responded, "Writing checks to help our family in Israel." She responded, "Well, Ima, the mailman will probably throw it in the garbage when he knows what it's for." I gave her a quizzical look. "Why are you saying that, honey?" She looked at me straight in the eye and said, "Because you know, everyone hates us for being Jewish." She took my breath away. No, that is not true, I told her. We aren't totally alone, especially not in Maine. From the Waterville Girl Scouts that joined us on Simchas Torah, the local Catholic parish that joined us for Tu B'Shvat, to the nearly 50% of our congregation that isn't Jewish, but has thrown in their fate with us in the most real and intimate ways. Timhon levav, moral confusion of the heart. We need to acknowledge our friends and allies. There has been so much love and support that I have received from the most unexpected corners, from professors that I never would have expected to extend a loving word in this context, from the administration at my college that has proactively reached out with ways to support the Jewish community, from local allies that have left scores of voicemails on the synagogue's voicemail box. But most of all, there was the note that I received from our former Arabic instructor at Colby, an Arab Palestinian Israeli. I reached out to see if she was okay. I knew her siblings were emergency room doctors in southern Israel. I wanted to see how they were. This is what she wrote to me on WhatsApp. "Thank you, dear. Just pray for Israel. All the people. Every prayer helps. I'm heartbroken, Rachel. I honestly still can't absorb anything. Those photos and videos on social media are so brutal. Kids, women, we need every prayer. Thank you, dear. Just pray for Israel. And that, my family, is not timhon levav, moral confusion. It is levav chokhmah, a truly wise heart. Far away from Harvard, right in the heart of the Galilee. The woman who helped us raise our children with Hebrew, who always kept us well stocked in her family's olive oil, who displayed her artwork in 2 central Maine synagogues, the descendant of those who suffered greatly in 1948, whose ancestors' greatest tragedy is our greatest miracle. The woman who takes us out to Cafe Fatouche every year on Haifa's famous Sderot David Ben Gurion Boulevard, where Christmas carols mash up with Hanukkah hymns and the call to prayer every December. Haifa, a city of Levav Chokhmah, of the wise-hearted who know that this life is too short for hatred and so much fuller when we can find a way to cultivate joy together. Dear God, let us heed the word of the psalmist. Limnot yamenu ken hoda v'navi levav chokhmah. Teach us to count our days rightly so that we may obtain a heart of wisdom. God, let us not lose heart in speaking out for our people and standing by their side. Dear God, let us not succumb to moral confusion. God, let us not lose sight of our blessings and our friends, even when they show up in the most unlikely of places. You have made us strong. You have made us an Am Segula, a royal and majestic people. May the fires of this trial make us even stronger, melding us, a Jewish people, please, finally, melding us together with a truly unified heart, glorifying you, your people, and the multitude of gifts you have given us. Am Yisrael Chai. We, the Jewish people, live. It is now my honor to introduce the rabbis of the Chabad of Maine.
The musician is right there. Sidi da yada yada yadam hamama ya yanam hayana yana yanam mama ya
Wow! Look around the room here tonight. All I can say is wow. Thank you, the JCA and Molly, for putting this together. Of course, to thank our host, Temple Bethel. This is the power of our family. This is what the Jewish people are all about. Here we are standing all together as one, because we are truly one. The tragic event has arose and revealed that 100% that unite us and 0 that divides us. Somebody from the media asked me this question yesterday, Rabbi, what is your message from the local Jewish community? And I replied, there's no such thing as local Jewish community. We all are local. What is happening across the sea in the holy land of Israel isn't about Israel as a land or country. It's a battle of our existence, of the Jewish people, being fueled by hatred for you, for me, the fact that each one of us is alive and present. There are lives being attacked. These are our brothers, our sisters. I feel and think we all feel. This is our personal tragedy, and this therefore has cut so very, very deeply in our hearts. For generations, wherever Jews come under attack, it is frequently relied on our two most powerful resources to get through this, our faith and our community. Our rock-solid, unwavering, unshakable faith is the God of Israel, who neither sleeps nor slumbers, who will surely watch over our brothers and sisters at this time as he has in the past. And number two, our credible Jewish community that spans the globe, the beautiful family of which we are proud to be part of. At times like this, we must lean on each other for support and strength and courage. Our family is under attack, and it's our responsibility to stand by each other in every way we can, which is what tonight's gathering is all about. We are also profoundly grateful for those in the wider non-Jewish community who has joined us in unity and support. Your presence means the world to us. At times like this, we look for answers. We want to know why. I wish I had those answers for you today. But the best thing we can do together is pray. Let us remind ourselves that wars are fought with guns and weapons, but they're won and lost in the mind and our heart, in the heart. Our enemies choose to launch their attack on the happiest day of the Jewish calendar, Simchat Torah. They did it for a reason, because they were aiming to crush us, to demoralize us, to pull us down, to crush our spirit. Do not allow the enemy to take over. Instead, let us fill our hearts with hope and faith and encouragement. As I recite the following prayer, please take a moment and mention silently in your hearts the names of family members or people you know who are in Israel right now being impacted by this terror. And also, of course, for the 3,500 people that find themselves in the hospital. Please pray silently. Adonai Hoshia HaMelech Yaneinu V'Yom Kareinu. If I can leave you with a brief message today, among the millions of words that are swirling through our minds, this would be it. The Jewish people have always known that our mandate to be a light upon the nation. Our job is to fight darkness with light, light and more light. While there's a physical world, our calling right now is to be a source of light, to increase in mitzvahs and good deeds. Judaism teaches us that it works. When we do a good deed here, in the state of Maine, it actually sends tremendous spiritual energy, protection, and blessing to our brothers and sisters in Israel. On a personal note, my daughter, Liba, is in Israel as a staff member in the girls' school and spent the holiday in London with my older daughter, Toby. As soon as the first opportunity came up, She flew right back to Israel to be of service to assist where she can, including keeping up the morale of the girls in her charge. That's to mention yesterday when she flew into Ben Gurion Airport. There are two lines. One of the people that hold Israeli passports, a long line, and a very short line, and no one is on line for the foreigners. She was the only one in line to fly back to Israel. Speaking to her on the phone, she told me that we don't even understand the impact that it has on the people of Israel when they hear that of prayers and added mitzvahs, acts of kindness that we're doing here in their merit, that gives them huge boost of morale and energizes them spiritually. If the recent tragedy of our homeland has you second-guessing the wisdom of putting up a mezuzah, or if you're considering participating less in Jewish life, remember this: never once in history, I repeat, not a single time, has hiding our Judaism worked in our favor and brought us to safety. The opposite is true. Only by being proud Jews, by building our Jewish community, by energizing, participating, and bring others to do the same, can we hope to defend the terrorism and the hatred. So do this, my dear friends, by putting up mezuzah. If you need help, you need a mezuzah, call our office. Wear your kippah and display them proudly. Put on tefillin. Go to a Shabbos dinner, show up, do a mitzvah. May the Almighty God protect our brothers and sisters and bring them home safely. Let us conclude one more prayer. 6:30 a.m. last Saturday, last Shabbos morning, hundreds of our fellow Jews were murdered in their beds without even having the chance to say the Shema prayer in the final moments of their lives. Let us all join together and say it for them. Let's keep their song singing together. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Let me conclude. The help of the JCA and Mali, the rest of the Jewish community, the JCA is putting on the website a special link to a global mitzvah campaign where every Jew will be united with doing mitzvahs. Put down your name, do an extra mitzvah, help somebody, and this will help all Jews around the world. Let's all pray that the Messiah, Mashiach, shall come already and be real true peace all over in Israel and all over the world. Let's say Amen. Am Yisrael Chai.
Yehuda Halevi gave us the words, "My heart is in the East," and undoubtedly all of our hearts are in the East. Jewish life cannot be imagined without Israel at its core, and even as Israel is a bundle of issues and challenges, it is also our dynamic, inspiring, and Jewish homeland. This spring, my husband Kirk and I planted a wildflower garden. We had dreams of a cut flower garden, and time kept getting away from us. And so we cultivated the land and we scattered wildflower seeds and hoped for the best. Yehuda Amichai gives us these words: wild peace, not the peace of a ceasefire, not even the vision of wolf and the lamb, but rather as in the heart when the excitement is over, and you can talk only about great weariness. I know that I know how to kill. That makes me an adult. And my son plays with a toy gun that knows how to open and close its eyes and say, Mama. A peace without the big noise of beating swords into plowshares, without words, without the thud of the heavy rubber stamp. Let it be light, floating, like lazy white foam. a little rest for the wounds, who speaks of healing? And the howl of the orphans is passed from one generation to the next as in a relay race, and the baton never falls. Let it come like wildflowers, suddenly, because the field must have it, wild peace. And so we pray to cultivate those seeds and to grow that peace that I believe is still possible in spite of what we see before our eyes. Because if it's not, then redemption is not possible. And let's let the flowers bloom and let there be peace.
Can you hear me? Is this close enough? I would like to dedicate this 2 poems and a little bit of talking to Holocaust survivor Edith Pagelson, who just died a couple of days ago. As a matter of fact, she died on Saturday, October 7th, the day of the Hamas invasion. I understand that she did not know it was happening, and I'm really glad for that. My parents were Shoah refugees. They're both passed. My mother was the lone survivor of a family of 12. She was a rescue partisan. My father lost a lot of his family. He was a Polish Jew in the Soviet military. My connection to Israel is that my father smuggled refugees and guns there to the Yishuv at some point through Czechoslovakia. But I lived on kibbutz, 2 different kibbutzim in the Galil, on 3 very hostile borders collectively. My daughter was born in one of those kibbutzim. My brother, who was born as a tiny baby refugee right after the war in Poland, ended up going to Israel in November of 1973 to volunteer for 6 months, then another 6 months. Then he never came back and just lived there and had 3 wonderful daughters and died there in 2018, November of 2018. I have numerous cousins, friends, young cousins in the Miluim and the reserves. So I'm invested, very, very invested. Rabbi Rachel spoke about the academic, ideological abstractions that we have to live with. Thank you, right? Which has removed Jews from Middle Eastern history. Somehow even the United Nations has determined that the city of David and Solomon, Jerusalem, only has historical ties to the Palestinians. I know it has historical ties to the Palestinians, but how can you say it has no historical ties to the Jews? It is absurd on its face. Jews of the Galut, of the exile, have returned to Eretz Yisrael over the centuries, have always returned in small groups, large groups throughout the centuries, especially during the pogroms and the Crusades in Europe. So this is a poem called The Long Walk, 1200 CE, around the time of the Second or Third Crusade. The Long Walk. I'll just wait till that. You walk to Jerusalem when there were no planes, no cars or trains, just your feet on the ground over roads, through meadows, woods, and danger. You walked away from signs like arrows pointing somewhere to Treblinka, a simple white sign, black with lettered words. You walked to Jerusalem long before deserts turned to slimy seas, made sand and marsh prizes for empires to contain. Backing away slowly from the sword that knew you, you walked with candlesticks, lighting them along the way. And to bring this a little bit more up to date, as I say, I lived in Israel, in kibbutz, for a few years, actually returning to the United States just weeks before the Yom Kippur War in October of '73. My daughter was born on the first kibbutz, and this is about when my mother was there for the birth, my father was not. My father came 4 months later to the kibbutz to see his very first grandchild, the first grandchild born of Shoah survivors. In the early 1970s, my daughter, Corinna Shulamit. So this is called Elated Was He. When you were born, new life was fresh for them. Now older, more settled, a lot saner than when we were born. You were 4 months old when he left his sciatica behind him, joyous to be in Eretz, elated for the kibbutz of boyhood dreams. A bike leaned lazy against a tree. Step springing, he placed one moving foot on the pedal, the other swinging over and around with grace of a bird swiftly flying. The 15-year-old boy shined agile and free from a face that had known too much. When you were born, Corinna, new life was fresh for them, and I rarely saw him quite so happy as then. You were born on kibbutz, in Eretz, in Galil no less, and everything contained in the miracle lived through his very flesh and bone the day he left his sciatica at home and rode that bike just like a kid. And I would just like to make an appeal that what we, as the rabbi suggested, do something kind every day. It really is about tikkun olam. It is about repair. It is not about revenge or that horribly recently used word retribution. It is not about revenge and retribution. It has to be about repair. We need to expose it. I'm amazed how long it's taken to expose the Hamas charter based on Nazi ideology, centered on the protocols of the Elders of Zion, concepts from Mein Kampf, was written in 1988 and said all of the Jews in the world needed to be murdered. Why that did not get attention in 1988, I have no idea. It was then revised to a kinder, gentler mass murder in 2017, saying we don't have to kill all the Jews, just all the Jews in Israel, and any Jews that are connected to Israel, which is most of us, okay? It would be wonderful if we could free Israel and the Gazan people from the tyranny of Hamas and the cult of human sacrifice. Their mission justifies the killing even of their own people and allowing them to be murdered in reprisals, right? Please, I don't care where you come from, politically, conservative, liberal, progressive. Please press your representatives in any organizations you're involved with to support the thousands and thousands of Israelis and Palestinians who are working even now in the middle of this tragedy for peace. Traditional organizations like Hadassah, but there are so many more. Hand in Hand, Women Waging Peace, Combatants for Peace, Parents and Families Circle, New Israel Fund. There are so many organizations that are working on the ground, not abstract ideological bullshit, excuse me, all right? Okay, real human Israelis and Palestinians on the ground, while people 3,000 and 4,000 and 5,000 miles away so safely decide what should happen, that Israel needs to disappear. Okay, so basically there are so many people, even in the midst of this tragedy and pain, who are working together. Those are the people we need to support. Please let your organizations and your representatives know that they exist, and that's what we have to be pushing for. We need new leadership for the Palestinian people. They need new leadership. Hamas is a death cult. So please, tikkun olam, do something kind every single day. The rabbi is right. That will bring peace much sooner than revenge or retribution ever can. Thank you so much.
Shalom. Feels good to say that. Erev Tov, good evening. My name is Rabbi Andy Bachman, and I'm really so honored to be here at the invitation of Rabbi Braun and of Kate, and to thank you, Molly, for extending the invitation and for bringing the community together as you have. I've been a rabbi for almost 30 years, and I want to just thank publicly and acknowledge other representatives of other faiths who have joined us here. Our traditions, all of our religious traditions teach that the God we all believe in created the human being in the divine image. We first and foremost are human, and each of us as humans share a remnant of the divine The first and greatest story that the Torah tells us is that on the sixth day, God created the human being, B'Tselem Elohim, in the image of God. Male and female, both created as one in the image of God. After 6 exhausting days of creation, God rested on the seventh day. We call that day Shabbat. Every Saturday in synagogue, we read from the Torah, several chapters a week, and it takes us about a year, and then we finish. We don't pick up a new book. We go back to that book, and we read it all over again, and so we have been doing since Moses received the book from God on Mount Sinai about 3,500 years ago. The rupture in the heart of humanity, the rupture in the heart of Jews to wake up to news on Shabbat and on Simchat Torah, the holiday that celebrates the very book that teaches us that each of us are made in the divine image. The very book that teaches us, Lo Tirtzach, it's in the Ten Commandments, thou shalt not murder. The very book that teaches us to honor our parents. Ve'ahavta l'recha kamocha, to love our neighbor as ourselves. The very book that teaches us, as the rabbi taught, Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. God is one, we are one made in the divine image. We arrive to this place tonight because our hearts are torn. We have seen and experienced the unimaginable. As Rabbi Isaac so eloquently reminded us, and so painfully reminded us, not since the Shoah, not since the Holocaust, have more Jews been killed in one day than the atrocities that occurred on Shabbat, on Simchat Torah. We come together as a community because we're hurting. We come together as a community because we are angry. And in the same way that in our hurt, our proximity to one another can make human love contagious, that closeness must also allow us to both express and comfort one another in our pain and our sorrow and our anger. The book that we were reading on Shabbat, the book that we came to celebrate together with on Simchat Torah, is a book that gives us all one needs to know about how to live the life that we as Jews should live, and in fact that all communities really ought to live by. There is only one God. The human being is made in the image of that God. That God says to us that we should love that source of life with all our heart, with all our soul, with all of our strength. Our strength is not measured in the weapons we raise. Our strength is measured in the love we express, in the good deeds we do, in the way we are capable of coming together despite our anger, despite our sorrow, despite our pain. Our book tells us that this is not only possible, that this is not only some thing that just happened once, but in fact it's a book that we have been commanded to read and to read over and over and over again. Every Shabbat, a day of rest and a day of love. Every Simchat Torah, a day of sublime joy that we have a book that can give us a path by which we are meant to live our lives. Like many people in our room, like many people of different faiths, I get an incredible amount of joy and pleasure from prayer. Each morning, I arise and recite my morning prayers. And we're reminded in our morning prayers, we Jews, that there are certain things that we are meant to do each day that have no measure and in this world have no reward. You just simply do them. You honor your parents. You help heal the sick. You express hospitality and you welcome the stranger and the guest into your midst. You celebrate when two people fall in love and want to commit their lives to one another. You accompany the dead to a burial with love and respect and comfort for those who mourn. There's no end to those deeds. As we've already heard from a number of our other speakers, we do these deeds every day with the faith that when enough of us do them, we build the world that we really truly want to and can live in, bishalom, in peace. Healing will come, but the work of bringing the healing is upon us. It's work that we need to carry out with love, with intention, with a deep recognition that all of us are united. All of us are made in the divine image. No one can ever take away that inheritance from any of us. And that inheritance is our sacred obligation to, from this night forward, go out in the world with love and the intention to do good. It is in our hands. We can do this. May God bless the Jewish people. May God bless all of the people assembled here tonight and all people who assemble to do acts of loving kindness, of mercy, of compassion, and love. Thank you.
It's amazing to share this bima, this pulpit, with these amazing people, and to share this room with all of you. And to know that it's not just us, it's so many other people. And I offer my thanks, and it helps to heal my heart somewhat. I usually find healing in singing. And for the past week, I've been getting over a cold. And I thought not to sing, but then I thought a broken voice, a broken heart will all come together and make it well. So in a moment, I'm going to chant a yizkor, a remembrance prayer for those who died in defense of the state of Israel and in acts of terror, followed by El Malei Rachamim, followed by Sharon Newman leading us in Hatikva. But as we leave, I want to invite you to, in two places we have some stones and a candle. And we have so many traditions around stones. We've used them in our liturgy for Yizkor on Yom Kippur. I invite people during Yizkor to take a stone to place the memory of those who they're remembering on that stone and to place it wherever they want. But there's also a tradition of stones. The high priest, the Kohen Gadol, would wear these precious stones and a couple on his shoulder also. And on those stones were the names of all the tribes of Israel. And with those stones, if he had a real problem that he needed to speak to God about, they would light up with an answer. So these stones are also our connection to the divine, and maybe just some kind of bring up our questions, our answers, our sorrow, our feelings, and us. We can place ourselves on these stones. And so, following at the end of this vigil, I want to invite you to take a stone, to put whatever you want on that stone, to place it here, to take it with you and place it in some place that will remind you of our time together, of our unity, of our call to mitzvot, to love, and will remind us how important human life is. So I'd like to invite you to rise either in spirit or in body as I recite these two prayers. Yizkor Elohim et nishmot kol achiinu v'achioteinu b'nei Yisrael שהקריבו את נפשותיכם בדרך להקמת מדינת ישראל ובהגנתה וכל אלה שנטבחו במעשי חבלה בעבור שאנו מתפללים ביד הזכרת נשמתם. אנא נזכור לעולם את גבורתם ומסירותם ותמימותם ותהיינה נפשותיכם צרורות בצרור החיים, ותהי מנוחתם כבוד, שבה שמחות את פניך, נעמוד בימיך נצח. Amen. May God remember the souls of all those of the house of Israel who sacrificed themselves to establish the state of Israel, or who have perished in its defense, and those slaughtered in acts of terror. In their memory we pray. May the memory of their bravery, their dedication, and their innocence be with us throughout time. May their souls be bound up in the bond of life. May they be remembered with honor. And may they rest in peace at your right hand forever. And let us say, Amen. And El Malei Rachamim in memory of all the dead. El Malei Rachamim Shochen Bamromim Hamsei Menucha Nechona Tachat Kanfei Ashchina B'mahalot Kedoshim Torim K'zohar Rakia Mazirim Lenishmot Kol Ela Sheizkarnu Hayom Livracha Shalchu L'Olamam B'Gan Eden Tehi Menuchatam Ana Ba'ala Rachamim Hastireim B'Seter Knafecha L'Olamim Utzror B'Tzror HaChayim Et Nishmotehem Adonai Hu Nachalatam V'yanuchu v'shalom Amish kavonotehem V'nomar Amen. Exalted, compassionate God, grant perfect peace in your sheltering presence among the holy and the pure whose radiance is like the heavens, to the souls of all those we have recalled today. May their memory be a blessing, and may they rest in paradise. Master of mercy, may they find eternal shelter beneath your sheltering wings, and may their souls be bound up in the bond of life. Adonai is their portion. May they rest in peace, and let us say, Amen. Thank you.
Their words, if you need them. And I thought we would do this twice, even stronger the second time. Kol od balevav plima, nefesh Yehudi homiya, ulfatei mizrach kadima, ayin letzion Sophia, od lo avda tikvateinu, hatikva bat shnot alpayim, liot al chofshi be'artzeinu, Eretz Zion v'Yerushalayim, liot am chofshi be'artzeinu, Eretz Zion v'Yerushalayim, kol od balevav klima, nefesh Yehudi homiya, ulfatei mizrach kadima, ayin letzion Sophia, od lo avda tikvateinu, hatikva bat shnot alpayim, liot am chofshi be'artzeinu, Eretz Zion v'Yerushalayim, liot am chofshi be'artzeinu, Eretz Zion v'Yerushalayim.
May we see peace soon, and may we heal together and with one another, and may we continue to do mitzvot. Good evening. Thank you for being here. The stones are in both rooms. And thank you to the JCA and to Molly for bringing us all together.
Thank you.
I'd love to sit. Well, maybe you don't like to do that.
I could sing for you, but
Sit and learn Nigunim with you.
yeah, it was a tough choice what to choose.
Well, the way you did it was really. So tell me about that meeting.
So it's one of the tunes. It's called Yahweh. We say it by Kol Nidri. So Yahweh. So it's a very specific tune. Kol Nidri song.
Yeah. Wow.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for being up here. It's not your normal. Oh, yes, yes, yes. Oh, yes, yes, yes. Oh, I'm so glad. Well, I know. If I didn't have to do it, I'd probably be doing the same thing. I think you have a fan waiting for you.
Oh my God.
You're thinking about applying for college. Yes. Hey, you. Yes, yes.
Thank you so much for your words.
Oh, I loved your Hatikva. It got me. So
Well,
thank you.
I'm just glad I got through it. It's been hard. I feel like sad and angry all at the same time.
Yes, I have not gotten over that exhaustion, rage, sadness,
And
roller coaster at all.
we don't even have a TV, and I'm like really grateful. Because
Yeah.
I just
I don't have a
immerse
TV
yourself in the
either.
images.
Yeah, no.